BMW Group India has witnessed 10% growth in its sales numbers with the BMW and Mini cars in the past 9 months, and the brand has been dominant in the luxury EV space with the i7 model. Now, I am here at BMW's Infinity showroom in Worli, Mumbai, where BMW has just launched the Retail.NEXT strategy. So, I will be talking to Mr. Vikram Pawah, the president of BMW Group India, about this strategy, also about the EV portfolio that has been expanding, and about the new M4 CS model that has been launched in the country. Let's talk to him. So, Mr. Pawah, thank you so much for joining us on CNBC TV18 as well as on OVERDRIVE. Past 9 months have been very promising for BMW in India. So, where have you seen the growth coming from?
I think you're absolutely right. I think 9 months has been absolutely fantastic after a great first half of the year. I think the trend has continued into quarter three as well. So we ended up with selling over 10,500 cars in the country with a growth of 10%. And more importantly, the BMW brand, when I look at it, we have been launching so many products across the year. You know, it's grown by 12% now, which is really good. So back and back, double-digit growth for 3 years clearly looks like very promising. X1, right, that contributes to 20% of our sales now. If I look at the luxury class, which is the 7 Series, which includes the 7 and the i7, the X7 and the XM, all those 4 products together, is contributing to 17% of our sales. So really good statistics there. 3 Series also is really strong between the 3 Series and the M340i, so the long wheelbase 3 Series and the M340 we have. We absolutely lead that segment based on the data we have from Vahan. Even the 7 Series, we're actually leading the segment. Right, so those 2 segments we lead, X1 segment we lead. So that's giving a lot of confidence that where we have the right products suitable for Indian public, it's absolutely giving us a winning combination right now.
Let's talk about the Retail.NEXT strategy that has launched today at Infinity Motors, and you're going across the country as well. Talk to me a little more about this. It's very interesting that you're housing a Mini and a BMW, and in some other cities even a Motorrad under the same roof.
Yes, because I think what we're changing here, we're changing the game from a traditional auto retail format to more a customer-centric or a brand-centric retail format. So we put the customer and we think about what does the customer want. Okay, a customer these days want to have immersive experience. They want to have a little bit more flowing method, not those compartmentalization, right? So they don't want to go to, for a Mini, they don't want to go to a different showroom. For a Motorrad, they don't want to go to a different showroom, right? If they can have that experience under one roof, why not? If they want to have service or used car, if they can have it under one roof, absolutely they love that. But beyond that, it's more about also how a customer wants to experience products. And I always use this thing that as growing up, we always wanted cars in our home. You know, be it those scale model cars or whatever. So we always grew up with that. So now we are literally giving that experience to a customer. We're bringing the car to your lounge. So as you can see, we're sitting in a lounge right now. There's a car next to us. We're interacting with the car. So it's more about the customer, free spaces, spend time here. Okay, just have relaxing time, interact. No matter what point of interaction you want to do, you can come and do that here in our environment of Retail.NEXT. And you're right, we're going to roll this out across the country. So Mumbai is one of the first ones to do it. And you would see one of the unique things we use in Mumbai is a mural of the Mumbai city. All the landmarks of Mumbai city have been depicted on the dealership, on the fascia itself. So that shows how we're trying to connect to every city as well. So over the next 2.5 years, so by end of 2026, we'll complete all facilities across the country, and our dealers will invest 365 crores for this.
Let's talk about the model that has just launched today, the powerful track machine, the M4 CS. It's the first time a CS is launching in the country. Why now in particular?
I think it's how the country evolves.
Okay.
You know, I mean, we could have brought it in. The infrastructure wasn't there.
Okay.
You know, highways wasn't there.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at it now from Mumbai to, Delhi, you could actually go on a beautiful highway. Right? Was it there a couple of years ago? No. Right? The racetracks are building up more and more. You can see that more and more racetrack, especially near Mumbai, you can see a lot of activity happening in that area as well. Okay, so all this development is happening. So once those facilities are available, then you can see people can actually enjoy cars.
All right.
Okay, so it was the right time we thought. So we brought a competition sport into India. Well, M brand has always been a pinnacle of BMW brand. It's what's defined BMW brand over the years. You know, when we talk about the sheer driving pleasure or the ultimate driving machine, that comes from the M brand, because M brand represents the motorsport spirit. It represents elegance at the same time, sophisticated engineering, and of course looks. You know, M cars have always looked one of the best ones. And What we are seeing in India lately is that there's a lot of more traction happening towards the sportiness side.
Right.
So for the first time, you're right, you identified absolutely correctly that we bring a competition sport model into India with the M4 CS. And M4 is a brand in itself, right? People love that as a sportiness, for its ruggedness and the real track feeling. And this car is absolutely track ready.
I'll shift focus to the iX1, the entry-level electric vehicle has been doing really well, even compared to its rivals and even compared to Mini. What do you think is the USP that has worked for that?
And when the first time luxury buyer, they're looking at how can I jump into luxury without having too many risks with me.
Right.
Right. So normally the concern about attaching to a luxury brand is, okay, is the maintenance going to be high? Right. Is my running cost is going to be high? Those are the normal concerns that people have. iX1 in electric format removes all those barriers, because being electric, obviously there's no maintenance involved.
Yeah.
Right. Being electric, your running cost is known. Okay. So because the consumption of electricity, cost of electricity compared to fuel, is almost 1/3. So that's what you save as well. So that's a peace of mind. And also because we provide great finance product, what we call as the BMW 360-degree finance product, where a customer's future value of the product is defined. So for example, if you wanted to buy iX1 and say, I want to own it for 5 years, but I'm worried what will be the resale value of this car after 5 years, I'll give you the resale value today.
Right.
And we'll sign that contract today. So after 5 years, you can come back and give me that car back, no questions asked. Okay. If you wanted to sell it outside as well, because if you're getting a higher value, you have all the liberty to do that as well.
Right.
So the customer gets that peace of mind that, okay, now I can get into luxury. And for me, that's my belief, that I think the electro-mobility at the entry segment is the one that will allow a lot of people to come into luxury space.
And the XM is the only plug-in hybrid model in the country today. Where do you see plug-in hybrid models going? Do you see a growth in...
We have all the plug-in hybrid models across the world, so
Yeah.
we can bring it at any time if there is a demand in India. I always say that it's always driven by the customer demand.
Okay.
And I think the customer demand is driven by the cost economics as well, to some
Yeah.
degree. So currently there is no GST differentiation in a plug-in hybrid and a traditional engine. Right? If the government was able to offer a gradient of, let's say, benefits ranging from a traditional engine at, let's say, the highest tax rate to the EV at the lowest tax rate,
Yeah.
and in between sits the plug-in hybrid, I think that'll be an absolute great solution for people to adapt to.
Okay.
What I don't like is when people talk about, the plug-in hybrid is same as electric. No, I would say no,
No,
they're
it
not.
isn't.
It doesn't lead to the objective what we're leading to about zero carbon footprint.
It's very interesting to note that sedans are not really doing well overall in India, but when it comes to luxury space, BMW is leading with, say, the 3 Series, 5 Series, 7 Series has always seems to be a demand. But when it comes to the EV luxury market, we see the i7 garnering a lot of response. But what happens when it, to the i5, the i4? Why do you think the customers are holding off?
I think the growth is all across. I mean, if you look at EVs, we have sold 2,500 EVs, right?
Yeah.
We have sold SAVs in EVs. iX, we have crossed 1,000 units. The i7, we crossed 500 units now across to the time we started. So both of them are working. i4 and i5 were really small, niche models that we actually targeted.
Right.
So we didn't expect any big volumes from that as well.
Okay.
Because you're looking at a very small niche format similar to a 4 Series, for example.
Right.
When we used to have 4 Series into India, it was a very niche model. So those things are very specific models that are there. In 5, we are focusing on the long wheelbase. Of course, you know that we launched a long wheelbase in India only a month ago. It's getting fantastic response. And I can see that, people like that format in that executive sedan space. They want a longer model. So I think all these models are doing well. But you actually pointed out correctly that in BMW, our balance between sedan and SUV is actually pretty good. And it's always been good. It has never been over-skewed to one or the other. So that gives us a promising future that we will continue to grow.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.